All right, let's talk about something that's on pretty much everyone's mind this time of year. Raises. Now, picture this. Your company announces that, hey, to be fair, everyone's getting a little something. Sounds pretty good, right? Kind of like spreading a nice, even layer of peanut butter on a piece of toast. But what happens when that seemingly good thing isn't as great as it sounds?
Well, that brings us to this idea of the peanut butter raise. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a strategy where a company takes its entire limited budget for raises and just spreads it thinly and evenly across every single employee. Everyone gets the same percentage bump. Doesn't matter if you're the star performer or, the person who's just coasting. But as we're about to see, what looks fair on the outside can actually hide a pretty sticky situation.
So let's really get into it. What exactly is this trend? We're going to break down why it's popping up again right now, and more importantly, what it could mean for your job and your career.
The funny thing is, this isn't some brand new idea. Not at all. We saw this exact same playbook run after the 2008 financial crisis. Back then, salary budgets were basically frozen at around 3%. Now fast forward to today, and the projections for 2026 are looking eerily similar, hovering around 3.5%. It really feels like history is about to repeat itself.
Okay, so let's flip the script for a second and look at this from the other side of the desk. Why on earth would a company choose to do this? Well, it really comes down to three big things: tight budgets, trying to avoid bias, and of course, the bottom line.
And make no mistake, this is becoming incredibly common. Just look at this number, 44%. That's nearly half of all companies out there that are either already doing this or are seriously thinking about it. That is a massive shift in how companies are thinking about rewarding their people. And this chart really breaks down that 44% for us. You can see 9% have been at this for a while. But look at this, a whopping 16% just started doing it, and another 18% are on the fence, considering it. So the takeaway here is crystal clear. This is not a fringe idea anymore. It's quickly becoming the new normal.
So why are they doing it? Well, first off, when you only have a tiny 3.5% budget to work with, giving everyone a little something feels a lot safer than giving big raises to a few people and zero to everyone else. Second, it lets managers sidestep those tricky, subjective performance reviews. It's just easier administratively. And third, there's a real argument that it helps your lower-paid staff keep up with the rising cost of living. From a company's perspective, it looks like a simple, elegant, and fair solution.
But, and this is a really big but, here's the pivot. While it might seem fair, there's a huge hidden cost, especially for the people who are really putting in the work. This is where the idea of equal isn't the same thing as equitable.
And honestly, leadership coach Sarah Epping just hits the nail on the head with this quote. When the reward for working hard is exactly the same as doing the bare minimum, core employees feel ignored and their engagement drops. I mean, it just makes sense, right? Why would you go the extra mile if the person next to you is doing half the work for the exact same reward? It's practically a recipe for demotivation.
And what's the ultimate result of that demotivation? This, talent flight. Your best people, the ones with options, they start looking around. And let's not forget what happened during the Great Resignation. 37% of people left their jobs because of low pay. You can bet that the moment the economy looks a little brighter, those top performers are going to be the first ones heading for the door.
So, if you find yourself in a company that's adopted this strategy, it's easy to feel stuck, but you're not powerless. It's time to put together your own career self-defense plan. Let's walk through how you can protect your value, even in this kind of environment.
There are two really clear, actionable steps you can take right now. First, think beyond your base salary. If those across-the-board raises are set in stone, talk to your manager about other things. Can you get a performance bonus, a promotion, maybe even just more vacation time? Second, as career coach Colleen Paulson suggests, you absolutely have to know your market value. Keep that LinkedIn profile sharp, set up some job alerts. You need to stay flexible because that's your biggest advantage. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground here. So let's wrap this up by boiling it all down to the key takeaways you need to navigate this new compensation landscape.
So, here are the three things to keep in your back pocket. Number one, this peanut butter approach, it's not real equity. What looks equal can actually end up punishing your best people. Two, base salary isn't the whole story. Smart companies will still use things like bonuses and promotions to hold on to their stars. And finally, number three, you have to be proactive, not passive. Know what you're worth and be ready to find an employer who sees it too.
And all of this leaves us with one last, really critical question to think about. In a world where everyone gets rewarded the same, no matter how hard they work, what is loyalty really worth? That's something we all kind of need to figure out for ourselves.